Peace and blessings, so family. I love you all. I hope everyone's doing well. The last handful of videos, I had explained the Atma Tattwas, or the microcosmos, the individual soul, and we covered pretty much all of that, which is found within Sankhya, but I brought some sources in from Sankhya and from some non-dual Shaiva Tantra texts. But now we're going to get into the Vidya Tattwas, the knowledge elements. So this is including Maya and the five Kanchukas. Okay, I'm gonna start with this. This is coming from the Sri Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, from the Bihar School of Yoga, from Swami Satchisangananda. Okay, and since I'm reading from multiple places, I'm just going to read this commentary right here. So, Maya is the veiling power inherent in the five unconditioned Shiva Tattvas, namely Shiva, Shakti, Icha, Jnana, and Kriya. The illusory power of Maya operates through five limiting aspects known as Kanchukas. The word Kanchuka literally means sheath or envelope. Together with the five Kanchukas act as a shell which obscures or limits the kernel. Each Kanchuka limits the cosmic power of Shiva Shakti in one aspect. The five Kanchukas are Kala, which limits the power to do all, Vidya, which limits the power to know all, Raga, which creates like and dislike, Kala, which limits perceptual existence by creating the notion of time, and Niyati, which limits free will. These five Kanchukas veil the omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence of the unified consciousness and creates the notion and duality in every sphere of life. If the sadhaka wakes up to this reality and maintains his awareness in this restriction imposed on him by the power of Maya, which prevents him from experiencing the unified existence, then gradually he will perceive that which he did not separate from the supreme reality. And from Tattwa Vidya Tattwas. The Vidya Tattwas, composed of seven subtle elements, is related to the both absolute consciousness and the veiled consciousness. It is the unconditioned and conditioned elements of the microcosmic consciousness. Development of the Vidya Tattva is responsible for the limitations which begin to manifest on the otherwise unconditioned Tattvas. At this stage, Shiva, or consciousness, remains complete in itself, but enveloped by the veiling power inherent in Chit Shakti, which is Maya. Here, Maya operates through five limiting aspects known as Kanchukas. Kanchuka literally means sheath or envelope, and together they act like the shell which obscures the kernel. Each Kanchuka limits the cosmic power of Shiva Shakti in one aspect. These limiting aspects or Kanchukas born out of Maya are Kala, that which limits the force of Kriya Shakti or the power to do all, Vidya, that which limits the force of Jnana Shakti or the power to know all, Raga, that which limits the force of Icha Shakti by creating desire or attachments, thus giving rise to unceasing discontentment. Kala, that which limits perceptual existence by creating the notion of time related to the changes in life, namely birth, growth, ripening, waning, and perishing. Niyati, that which limits free will, Purushartha, by creating the notion of fate and destiny, thus binding the individual to the endless cycles of birth and death. Thus, in this stage, we see the omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence of the Shiva Shakti unity veiled by the power of Maya to create the notion of duality. What this really implies, is that although in a state of preceding creation, Shiva Shakti existed as one unit of consciousness, during the process of creation, they appear to have diversified through the power of Maya. In actual fact, they always remain what they are, and in human beings, their unity is represented by Paramatma consciousness, which to the Jivatma appears different from itself. Subjectively, this process of Maya results in the dichotomy of subject and object, in contrast to the unified experience of Shiva Shakti, and objectively it results in the creation of various physical forms of which the universe is composed. It is at this point in the scheme of evolution that dualities, divisions, and opposites come into existence. This leads to the development of the Atma Tattvas and conditioned elements, which constitute the material universe in the practice of Tattwas, it is these conditioned elements, or Atma Tattwas, which we will deal. Okay. And then from Tantra Illuminated, the 5 shells, or Kanchukas. Though we have been far proceeding from the bottom up, it doesn't make sense to discuss the Kanchukas that way, so we will proceed to Tattwas 7 through 11, then move to 6. The 5 Kanchukas unfold directly from Maya. They are usually discussed as the veils that contract Shiva's self-awareness into that of individual Jiva. However, in the original tantric tradition, the understanding in this, prior to manifesting himself as a limited individual, fully expanded Shiva first contracts himself down to a single point of absolute limitation, Anu, shedding his omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence completely. Then, in order to manifest as an embodied sentient being, he equips himself with 5 limiting capacities. These are the Kanchukas, and the term literally means shell or armor. And these are the capacities necessary for experience and action in the world of duality. However, it is true that Kanchuka can also mean covering or veil. And the most common way of presenting the Kanchukas is as the coverings that conceal the fullness of the divine reality. Thus we can say that Shiva plus Kanchukas equals Jiva, the individual soul. Note that when I say Shiva above, I really mean Shiva Shakti, but the problem with pronouns make it easier to talk about Shiva. Let us now explore the 5 Kanchukas. Okay, and I'll make individual videos on a few different definitions from different books of the Kanchukas, so that both these videos all these videos will be able to fit into multiple platforms. But peace and blessings. I love you all. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'll definitely talk to you all in a few. Peace.